Hi guys, on today's episode, we are going to be speaking to Tamara, who is the CEO here at Mokrin House, co-living, co-working space in rural Serbia. I am so excited to speak to her. One, because she's an amazing woman entrepreneur. Two, she's doing such good things for the community here, the local community. And I'm really excited to speak with her about her vision for Mokrin House, what it's like to be a remote worker, how Mokrin House can support remote workers, what she sees as the trend for all of this in the future, because let me tell you, we are at the very beginning of all of this. And also what she believes she can make a positive impact for the local economy. And I think this is such a great thing that they can do here. And I'm so excited to share more with you. So without further ado, let's get right into the episode. Before we get started, we just want to give a shout out to Office R&D, who is our sponsor on today's episode. They are a co-working management software company that helps workspaces around the world deliver better experiences to their customers. They share our values of promoting and championing remote work, and they've been our biggest supporters since day one. Okay, so let's continue. So Tamara, I'm like super excited to talk to you.
Yes, finally. It's been a couple of busy days, but today it's quiet here at Mokrin House.
Yeah, I'm glad that we were able to come during this time period. So we're here during your Easter, which is like a really big celebration for the community to come together into Mokrin House and experience it together, which I loved being able to see. So thank you for having us during that time.
It was a pleasure. I'm sorry I couldn't hang out with you properly, but it was you saw hundreds of people
for sure.
Just flying around. Yeah.
I kept joking that that's usually me in the situation, the person running around behind the scenes and everyone's needing to fix things, And so even for me, I had to tell myself to calm down because I wanted to step in and help. And I was it's on. And in that way, I'm on vacation. I don't have to fix anything.
Yeah, exactly.
But I thank you for inviting us to come to Mokrin House. So I've experienced the space for about a week now as a co-working, co-living space where you can come and really focus on your work. And I love talking to you about this because I think that we jive a lot on what we feel the space can be and the vision of what it can accomplish and the positive impact it can make.
Yeah.
But I wanted to just hear your vision of what you feel Mokrin House is, where it's going. So I guess we'll break it down to a question so it's easier.
Yeah.
So I'm not just tell us your vision. But I just back up, what is your experience with remote working? Because you have your own experience with it and traveling and everything. So just tell me a little bit about where you're from and how much you've traveled and worked remotely and all of that.
Yeah, so I've done a couple of years of being a digital nomad myself. And I believe it really helped me understand, the pain points that people have. And what we're focusing on here is providing digital nomads, freelancers, or even people who are not normally working remotely, the chance to maybe do it for a month at least, just to test it out maybe. And we also have people who are doing it full time who also, drop their anchor here for a month or two and keep coming back. So my experience with remote work was pretty positive. I sometimes think okay, the only reason I could have stopped doing that was to come and live and work here. So it's kind of a dream come true because, now we get the best of both worlds in a way. So I have no idea whether I answered your question.
Yeah, no, it's good. But, no, so I guess you were able to travel and work remotely, but now all the people come to you who are traveling and working remotely.
Yeah, exactly.
But you said something I want to pick up on. What was one of the obstacles or pain points that you had when you were traveling and working remotely? Because I think this is good to talk about because then we say okay, so how is that different here at Mokrin House?
Yeah, well, I think for everyone, loneliness is a bit of an issue because you do choose to travel all the time and it's all good, but there are moments where you are surrounded by people but still lonely.
Yeah.
And this is something that we work oh my god, it's raining again. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about should we move the furniture? Sorry, can I start over?
No, it's good. Keep going.
Yeah, so basically I think I think loneliness is a big issue for digital nomads, and it's something that I experience as well, no matter if I were alone or in a room full of people. And what we do here is we want people to focus and be productive, but we also want everyone to sit down, have the same meals at the same time, and just use that time to not to think about work, you know? And we do have people who come for lunch and then bring their laptop, and then the second meal, they're not doing that anymore, because the conversations that we have at the table, I think, is exactly what we can say is really special about this, you know? And we go deep, we live together. So we share all of those moments of like seeing each other before our first morning coffee, if you know what I mean, you know,
for sure.
And then seeing each other being frustrated with work, or, you know, late at night when you're like really struggling to stay awake because there's something super interesting happening, but you're tired. So all of that, you know, and I think it brings people closer together. And one of the metrics that we use to see whether we're successful at this or not is how many people keep in touch after they leave Mokrin House. So we're in touch with people who were here like 3 years ago still. You know, I know what they're doing. They know what we're up to. They keep coming back. But we've also had a lot of people who connected here, started working together, started learning from each other. So it's all about that exchange. And I think, you know, that's the beauty of the community.
Yeah, and I think sometimes that's so hard to quantify, because like people are like, the metric sheet, blah, blah, blah. But like those connection points and the collaborations that come and like the people that keep coming back, I think that's the gold, in my opinion.
Yeah,
People can decide if they want to disagree with that, but
yeah, I think
I'm deciding that's the thing.
I mean, it must be a thing, you know, like that's what makes all of this valuable, because if you take it apart, it's, you know, people staying together, like living together, eating together. It's like working together, but it's not that. It's everything that happens, you know, on top of that. Yeah. I think it's, you know, all of the people who are friends now, or like contacts or partners, and, you know, working together. And it's beautiful to see them come back and, you know, bring new people. And then this story, you know, is going around the world. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, even while we're here right now, there's other people here who are also making videos and doing this and that, and we're all like, oh, can we talk? Like let's set aside time later to chat about this. So there's obviously room for collaboration that I'm just on a personal level seeing, and I can see that how that's curated here really well. So good job.
Yeah. Good job. And did you see one of the people who's staying here saw your drone the other day, and then some other people's drone, and now he's buying a drone. Yeah. So he's getting like recommendations, you know, things like that even.
It all like builds on each other. Yeah, for sure. But I also want to talk about like companies too that come here, because you guys do host a lot of groups here, or teams that come and work here. Oh. And where do you think the future of that can be? Like, say someone doesn't have the option, or they even don't want to do the whole like digital nomad travel full time, but do you think that there is a more in-between version of that where they can just come work for a month or whatever?
Yeah, we've been doing that a lot. We've had, in the beginning, companies and smaller teams were coming for like a weekend, but now they're staying longer because they realize that what they get done here in 3 days is, you know, something that they normally get done in 5 or 7. It depends obviously on the work, but what they get here is focus, and what they get here is more time in their day. Because essentially you're not commuting from your work to your home. You're not cooking, you're not cleaning, you're not doing all of those things that take a bit of your time every day. And then they report extreme productivity, and it's something that we really love, because it also comes with a healthy lifestyle of spending time outdoors, you know, riding bikes, chilling at the pool, you know, just like enjoying and not just being all about work during the entire day. So we do have a lot of smaller teams that come here, and sometimes they only come for a meeting or for something that is important to get done. And sometimes they actually take their entire office and move it here. And there's more and more teams that are interested in doing that, because they see that it's important. When you change your surroundings, even for a week, you know, there's something fresh about it, and some new creativity appears. And I think, you know, it's wonderful to be able to provide this inspiration for people as well. And this atmosphere of like, okay, we work hard, but we also chill pretty hard.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. just think about last night, how much fun we had. But I do think that there is a big like shift happening. I think a lot of companies are like, work retreats. Okay, let's do some team building and maybe focus on our end goals. And now it's like, well, let's just bring everyone outside of the bubble of our office and do our normal work, but in a new environment that's like inspiring and easy and like, you know, healthy and fulfilling. Yeah. And then let's see what happens. And also as a perk for like their employees, because as an employee, I would love to come work here for a week. I'd be like, that's like paradise. Can we just go there?
Yeah, we mostly get startups who are interested in doing this and are aware of what this change brings, even for a shorter period of time. There are some bigger companies who send their smaller teams here with the idea of experimenting with that as well. So I think in a way we're pioneering that around here, and it's wonderful to be a part of that shift as well.
Yeah, because I think in a year or two, even sooner, I think that's going to be the new normal. Like I can see it happening because I've been talking to companies and a lot of them want the effects that will give that week off or 2 weeks with their team here, but they don't necessarily know like how to... I think some of it is just convincing whoever's paying for it to do it. So once that conversion is shown, I think it's going to happen more and more. So I'm glad that you guys are pioneering it. I can vouch for it. Please, everyone come here. But the last thing I want to talk to you about is the thing I think that is closest to your heart, because we talked about this yesterday, was what vision do you feel like Mokrin House can have for the local economy and the local people here? So tell me what programs or where do you feel like this could go? And like what bigger impact do you think Mokrin House can have?
Yeah, well, there are levels to this, I'd say. So one thing is we have a pretty solid team here, and most of our colleagues here are from the village or from Kikinda, which is the nearest town. And that's our number one, you know, criteria when we're finding new people to come join our team. It's supporting someone who's local. There's a couple of us who are not from the village, but we are, you know, working hard to integrate and actually become a part of it. So what we really want to do is be just a part of this village, a part of this community, be understood by the locals and support them in different ways. So we grow most of our food, but the stuff that we don't grow, we buy locally. And also we organize a lot of programs for people that are free, that, you know, from like movie nights to workshops and lectures to, you know, we had this dance workshop a couple of years ago. You know, it's all of these things that we listen to the community. We ask them what they want to see here and what they want to do here, and then organize that for them. And sometimes we also organize stuff that they didn't say that they wanted, but we think they might find interesting. So it's a lot of trial and error, really. And I think it's a process. It's never going to end, really, because we want to be a hub not only for people who are traveling and coming here, but also for the people who are living in this village, and to kind of be the part of this, you know, of another revolution that is happening, and that is, you know, the future of living in the countryside. Because back in the day, you know, if you were not in agriculture, you know, farming or a similar field, you would not be living in a village. But nowadays, you could totally code from, you know, from your own garden, and you can live wherever.
As long as you have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, as long as you have Wi-Fi, exactly. So we are all about that, you know, showing people that villages have, and the countryside has, a lot of potential. You can just adapt it to your own lifestyle.
That's amazing. I remember yesterday we were talking and you were saying there's like the overarching like educational programs, but then also cultural development and everything. With you guys integrating with them integrating with you. There's like so many like collisions and positive explosions that can happen from that.
Yeah.
So
exactly. I think because education is the way to do this. You're opening your door physically to some people, but you're also opening different doors of, you know, just like introducing them to some new concepts and ideas, or just making sure that you're giving them tools to do whatever they want to do and achieve. So this winter we were doing this podcast, but it was recorded live here with the audience. So people were listening to the podcast all around, but only those who are local got to actually ask the questions, you know, after the session, and have a one-on-one with these inspirational people that we brought from all over, you know, from different fields, who are just, we call them like normal people who have achieved something extraordinary, you know, by working hard, by having a different perspective, and then they come here and share it with the people. So it's not about education of, I'm going to teach you how to do something. It's about, you know, broadening your horizons and, you know, introducing you to something new.
That's amazing. I love that. So what do you feel like the bigger impact that a co-working or co-living space can have on the local economy?
In general?
Yeah, just in general.
I think there's a big, I think we need to take kind of responsibility for the community that we all live in. So wherever you are, even if you're like downtown in the metropolitan area, you know, you are responsible for the community that you're a part of. So I think I've worked with a lot of co-working spaces, and one thing I always hear is like, we are more than a co-working space, because everyone who runs a co-working space is more than just that, you know? Everyone is a part of something bigger, and I think maybe the closest thing to it would be some sort of like a cultural center. It's a center nonetheless, you know, a place where you provide the local community with, you know, tools and knowledge and inspiration, or just fun, you know? So I think in this shift that we're talking about, all of the co-working spaces are sort of hubs for this, that of course you will offer what is interesting and important for you. But I think it's time for people to just expect that from co-working spaces, not just, you know, desks and Wi-Fi.
Yes. Oh my God. Can we, yeah, let's just kill that one.
Yeah.
Because it's so much more than that. It has so many opportunities. And that, I think like, it's like a missed opportunity if they don't utilize it in that way, you know?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there are shared office spaces, which are exactly that, you know, desks and Wi-Fi. But I think any co-working space actually comes with a community, and, you know, it comes with a responsibility to cater to those members that are coming, but also to the broader community that you're a part of. I don't know whether I'm making sense. I just like think like it's time for everyone to understand this.
Yeah, and I think maybe you and I just already know this, but I hope that everyone else, like, I'm trying to put it in like terms that if you're not inside the industry, it's almost like we are now the new town hall. Like whatever is happening in the community, we can host it, we can help with it, we can just help be the spokesperson for it if people need help and to speak up, and also be the hub of the community. Yeah. And I think, and obviously you guys are doing that here, and I'm so excited to, I was saying this to Yvonne, I'm so excited to come back in a year and see like where it is now, because I can see how quickly this is growing. Yeah,
I can't wait for you to go next year as well, because I want to see what's going on there.
Yeah, you're like, I want to see too.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Well, thank you so much for letting us come and inviting us here and like hosting us and just being your amazing self and just all the things.
It's a pleasure, Brittnee. I'm really glad that you're here.
Yeah. And I think we're just like, there's so much more to come. So I'm just like, stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Perfect. This is good.
That was such a great interview. I loved talking to Tamara. She's doing so many amazing things here at Mokrin House, and I can't wait to come back in a year and see where they're going, because I've talked to her behind the scenes and they have a lot of things planned. One for remote workers, especially teams who want to have their employees come and work remotely here and have a focus week. I think that's a big trend that's happening in the future. And also the positive impact they can make on the community with programs and educational things and creative culture things that they're doing here. It's awesome. So if you liked our episode, hit like at the bottom of the screen, subscribe to our channel. And if you have any questions, type them out. We would love to hear them. See you guys next time. Bye.